We're going up to see Jenny and surprise her with her $5,000 prize. Jenny, congratulations. You're a Bunnings home ground hero.
Pretty honoured and humbled to be a Bunnings home ground hero.
It's overwhelming actually, it's humbling. It's a nice reminder about why I do this.
But yeah, just the whole sense of gratitude, man, and thankful to Bunnings and TNZ.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
Starts with touch.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.
E nā iwi nau mai hara mai ki tēnei o nā whakatātai ki Õtautahi ki nā puna Tai Tokerau o nā puna wai ki Õtautahi. E mihi ana tēnei ki nā kai mātaki i tēnei rā o te rā tuatahi ki Õtautahi ki tēnei whakatātai mō nā tāui o te motu. Nā re mihi ana me whakaaro tonu ki te whānau Savage e te matua moi mai oki rā noho tonu ki roto i nā kāhui whitu o te atua. Firstly, just welcome to the Bunnings Day 2 Youth Touch National Championship at Ngā Puna Wai down here in Christchurch. Hopefully everyone's had a good sleep and ready for a great Day 2. Handing it over to you, Mike.
Morena whānau, welcome into Day 2. We have our first fixture of the day, and that is the Under-18 Mixed division. We have Tai Tokerau from the north, and from the topmost point of the South Island we have Nelson. Maya, you were here with me yesterday. You've been fortunate enough to coach a little bit of mixed touch. What are we looking forward to in this match-up this morning?
Again, just seen incredible skill from the girls. I was really impressed with that Bay of Plenty mixed team yesterday. I thought that was the game of the day, and just seeing the quality of the girls and how much they add to the whole game. And just obviously the boys, we talked about that trust factor yesterday, Kev, and just those boys just have ultimate trust that they can do whatever they want with those girls. Kev, I got yesterday afternoon after our last game, I went for a walk. What an incredible place this Ngā Puna Wai is. There's 14 fields we're using whānau. Not only are there 1,500 participants at this event, but there's 14 fields that we're using, and I'm not one for exercise that to do if I don't have to, and the 14th field is like a kilometre away from where we're sitting. This place is huge. We've got tennis courts, hockey fields, I don't know, they're called fields, hockey ones, and just what an incredible place this is, Kev. You're lucky down here in Canterbury to have a place like this.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere that, even just from hearing outside the tent yesterday, just the emotion that we could hear in the sub box, like there's some real excitement about being down here in the Puna Wai, and like the fields are in pristine condition, and I think it's just really exciting for these youth players to have such a facility to really put their I guess enterprise out on show for everyone to see down here at the Puna Wai in Christchurch. So as we look to our screen, we have Tai Tokerau here from left to right, and you'll have Nelson going from right to left. I know that they're both in some similar colours out there, so make sure that we pay attention to who's who. And we have Tai Tokerau here looking to tap off to start this morning's fixture. A little bit overcast, but don't be fooled by the cloud. It's definitely warm out there, whānau, so it will be some fast footy as we see Tai Tokerau coming into the 7. They get a bit of a backdoor sweep to start off their attacking set. Looking to centralise their attack back to the middle, looking out to a 32 pick. We get a 32 short run, looking to dive at the line. Good shutdown defence there from the Nelson defensive line, and we probably can expect a little bit more of that from the Nelson defence, Reece.
Yeah, 100%. I know that the Anderson boys in particular that run in the open mix for Nelson have been really, really strong with, in working with these youth teams. And as you can see there, they lifted off the line quite well and shut that down pretty easily.
We see Nelson here coming in for their first attack, picking short side, getting through to the end goal. Lovely little shake from the link there from Nelson, number 8, Lucas Bartlett, and he's able to break a defender and score Nelson's first touchdown.
Wow, that was impressive. That transition off their line, great D as you said, transitioned off, set up here on the end of it, easy pick, got on the outside, ran to the gap, and as you've seen there, Lucas again, easy try, jeepers, if that's what Nelson are offering. Tai Tokerau got a job on their hands today.
Yeah, great vision there from Jonty Pickworth. He noticed that the player pulled a little bit too square, and he was able to use those afterburners and managed to get into the end goal, and then showed some great vision to find Bartlett to set up their first try. But Tai Tokerau, they won't want to sit down as they get back into the 7. Looking to play a live play, going back to the short side. Seen there's a little bit of a mismatch there on the girl, and Tai Tokerau open their scoring account. Reece, talk us through it.
Yeah, just a little bit of manipulation of the defence here. You'll see the number 2 player here, looks like he's going to sweep, and then they get on the ball. When he gets on the ball, hits the link, and then once you get on the outside of that second female defender there at link, it's a pretty good opportunity there.
Yeah, showed some nice body swerve there on a nice little outplay, and it was something that we saw at the back end of the mixed game yesterday, where they look to expose off those 2-step type scenarios, and we see Tai Tokerau isolating the Nelson defence there and showing that they can perform a few moves like that as well. As Nelson are looking to answer back with a sweep of their own, just ball going to ground, just overran the pass there a little bit, did the Nelson offence, and this is the first chance for Tai Tokerau to ruck out of their half.
Yeah, crucial set here for Tai Tokerau, triple T to get it down. They're working themselves in the box quite nicely here. Bit of a heavy touch, but that's good to see. Good positive touches off yardage. Good to see the referees letting that go as well.
Tai Tokerau just getting stood up a little bit here when it's coming to their ruck control, which Nelson will be pleased with, because it allows them an opportunity to really nullify their offence. And we see there that a turnover was created just on the 10-metre line in the Tai Tokerau attacking half, but this will give Nelson a lot more opportunity to get down to the scoreline and be able to show something when it comes to their offence, Mauri.
Yeah, games just start to settle. That was a hot set from Nelson, as we see number 7 here from Nelson. Jonty Pickworth nearly get through. Just setting up in here with Lucas Bartlett.
This could potentially be their combo for Nelson, but has some success, as we see Jonty not only have foot speed but a good dive as well, and he'll cross for Nelson second.
Yeah, it just looked like a little bit of miscommunication here on the defensive end, and then also just kind of strolling out, a little bit more positivity on defense, and he gets turned in there, gets caught on the ruck, and then Pickworth, he looks to be the go-to for the side at the moment.
Yeah, it's something that you hate as a player when you're trying to make sure that you can put a forceful touch in, and then that offensive player is able to beat you to the ground with that ball, and unfortunately for Tai Tokerau, just got stuck at the back of the ruck, and Nelson paid advantage to it and take a one try lead in this first half here of morning 2 at the Bunnings Youth Touch Nationals in Punawai.
Looks like they're setting up for a 3-3 platform here.
We've seen that twice here from Tai Tokerau. I wonder what they're looking for. They've obviously had some word from the box that if we can play to the middle of the field, that there's some space out on that left edge, and they're really trying to isolate the Nelson defence.
Quick turnover there. Nelson finally get a defensive stop, so they'll be looking to get the ball down the field, and it's good to see them working through the middle before they start heading towards the sub-box, and that's the benefit of that second touch there.
We see it again today, Kev. We talked a lot yesterday around the transition and getting off your line with direction and purpose, and how that helped you to be accurate down the other end. And this again is just another example. I think Nelson at the moment winning that transition period. So 33 pick, just got on the outside, and plenty of space there for number 3 from Nelson, Kobe, Johnson, Stevens.
This is going to be a good replay here. You can see that the boy middle is going to come in as if he's going to do a 32 short. He gets really tight, and then on the scoop, he pops back out, and the saver's not there from the link. So very, very well manipulated with the attacker here. Number 4 looks like he's going to get short, pops out with the scoop, and gets into a draw feed situation. Beautiful play.
Yeah, credit to Taina Thompson there. Like, the offensive player that's able to make those decisions is only as good as the platform that was laid, and hats off there to Thompson for being able to provide such a good platform for the offensive player to be able to create that try for Nelson.
the tricky little touch the ball out of your hand play.
Can't beat that one, Maya. Foot in the ruck.
You got to be a little bit more sneaky than that, don't you, Reece?
One thing I do know is that this game could get away from Te Tai Tokerau really, really quickly, and Nelson, if they're known for one thing at the moment, is high work rate and plenty of lungs. So this could get quite nasty if Te Tai Tokerau don't shut them down.
Yeah, as we see Nelson setting up, tending to go to that side quite a lot on the end of their attack. I had the unfortunate pleasure of coaching against the Nelson Open Mixed team a couple of years ago at the Nationals, and we played them in the semi-final, and it was one of the greatest games. It was tit for tat. I think it ended up being 14-13. And then they come out the next day, and it was just like they were fresh. They were unbelievable, just at 1,000 miles an hour, everyone on the same page, and they absolutely destroyed us. So, yep, that's the trait of the Nelson touch.
Yeah, Kev, you can see Nelson are really looking to try to manipulate and construct their tries compared to Te Tai Tokerau, who are probably looking for a one-off play at the moment. That's a good sign of good coaching and working through progressions.
Yes, I think what was seen to open the game, Nelson have played quite direct, and as we could see through the last couple of sets, they've looked to expand their offense, whether it's come from a bounce play or what we saw there where it looked like a secondary pass option where the player was able to receive it and then looking to throw that one over the top straight away. So Nelson obviously have a tactic in their artillery, and it's looking like it's paying dividends for them so far. But on the back end of that, I think what's really crucial at the moment is that Nelson's been able to win a bit of a momentum battle when it comes to their yardage and their transitional area. And Te Tai Tokerau are just struggling to kind of get to their transitional set, and it's just making it a bit difficult for them to get over halfway to give themselves some opportunity.
Yeah, and you can see there that set of 6, they turned the ball over just over halfway, and they set up for they were able to complete right down on the Te Tai Tokerau goal line. So they're definitely winning the yardage battle, which is what I'll go back to. Not a positive sign for Te Tai Tokerau, because Nelson will just keep running.
Yeah, you can see Te Tai Tokerau come into their box now, just looking to get a fresh set of legs on. They want to centralise their attack here to be able to get a good fifth touch scenario, as we see a lovely drive there from Callum Ward, giving number 1 Nico Bordet Manning, and they're gonna cross for their second, I think, here. Yep, the ref's given it the all clear. And that's what we were just talking about before, Whānau, about the momentum coming in off your box, and it was all down to Ward as he laid a great platform for Bordet Manning and then showed great vision, a little one-hander, and then too fast and goes through the space in the middle, and Ward, who really started that attack, was able to finish up for Te Tai Tokerau and bring the scoreline back to 3 touchdowns to 2.
As I was heading back over to tournament control yesterday, Kev, I've seen Te Tai Tokerau play, and Callum was definitely the standout, and it's good to see that he's on the ball again today.
Yeah, and if he's not doing it down the offensive end, he's doing it at the defensive end, as we see a great effort there to recover and make the touch going into the line and stop Nelson from getting their fourth, as we see Nelson looking to play another sweep play, bouncing back into the middle, and that time around, rather than playing out the back, the link kind of held on the line a little bit, and it opened a hole between the middle and the link there for Te Tai Tokerau, and I think it was that man again, Jonty Pickworth, showing great vision and hitting that short ball, Reece. Yeah,
I think they've really identified that the primary defenders are actually going to be okay. It's the savers and the people who are meant to be in supporting roles, like here, just a little bit too late there on that shutdown defence. And I think Nelson have picked up on that, so they're going to look more to scooping on the corner, stepping back and looking to play either into second phase or getting in the dot down.
And apologies at home, that was number 2, Hugh Robinson, that actually provided that pass there for Nelson, so my apologies. Got the 2 and the 7 mixed up.
Yeah, sorry, Maya, we're seeing a real contrast in games here. Nelson are wanting to get into a bit of a grind. Te Tai Tokerau looking for a little short place to score. It's going to be a good old battle here.
And there's the first long ball of the day, throwing a nice right to left. Saw that the winger was in a little bit tight, but just going over the top of the fingertips of the Te Tai Tokerau winger there, and Nelson are able to survive that offensive raid.
I think the thing that impressed, here we go down the sideline, we've seen this a lot yesterday. I've seen it more in a day and a half than I have in the last 20 nationals of these little sideline plays where there's no room. You don't see it coming, and next minute they're down the sideline for an easy try there. I think that was number 7, Jonty Pickworth. The thing that impressed me, Kev, yesterday, and I think the difference here today is Nelson not only very direct with their yards, but they've got ball players right across their boys, from Holmes, Robinson, Johnson, Stevens, Ford, Pickworth, Bartlett. They're all threats, whereas I think Te Tai Tokerau, there's probably 2 main men in their group, and so probably a little bit more predictable to know who's going to be on the ball and what they're going to do. And so, this Nelson outfit, pretty awesome.
And that's the confidence that the coaching staff probably have in this group, that it doesn't matter who's on the ball or what situation's being thrown at them, that the Nelson crew have a adaptation for whatever comes their way, and obviously some strengths of whatever players on the field, and they're able to run that. As you see, a bit of a 32 short, right to left pass over the top. The winger able to take the ball this time, but the Nelson winger there was able to chase out and stop the Te Tai Tokerau winger from crossing in the corner.
Good teamwork from the refs there, with the sideline referee supporting the on-field referee. As fast as we think we are as refs, you can't chase down a 30-metre long ball.
Just a little bit of a difference there. You can see a clear example of the shutdown defence. Ooh, that looked a little bit closer than first shot there, lads, but the difference in terms of the Nelson defence, they're all in together. Once they go into shutdown mode, they're all up and in. Whereas the Tai Tokerau really need to tidy up that area. And look at the transition, like you spoke about with the yards, very, very easy at the moment for Nelson.
I just want to compliment the winger there for Te Tai Tokerau, and we talked about it yesterday, Maya, and I'm not too sure if you saw any of it when you were down here yesterday, Reese, but some of these girls in the space that they have to work with after these passes are creating so many opportunities for themselves. It's absolutely amazing to see some of the finishes that are coming out of this mixed grade here down at the Youth Nationals.
Yeah, it blows my mind how with standing start, no space to room, that they can still beat a defender, get under a defender, around a defender. It's just incredible, the skills of these young players these days.
Not just that, lads, but also, these solo wingers over here have taken a drink bottle and they're not even subbing, and they're still able to do it too, under fatigue, which is amazing. Here's a little wee pick, went to the short side, came back open, tried to get the little sneaky play behind, and that looks like it's ball to ground. Another turnover to Nelson, and they'll look to ruck this ball down the field.
It's always good when I see the boys come off and they're blowing, and I'm like, what are you up to? Our winger over there's been on there the whole game, all week. And so, some of those girls there, absolute soldiers and legends. Ooh, he's got his hand holding the part that you don't really want to hold as a young lad. Hopefully he's not too bad.
Yeah, young Winnikere there. Looks like he's just taken a little bit of a knock.
They're strong, these young boys. I'm sure he'll be back on before we know it, as we see Nelson go to their box. It's quite a common trend for those at home, where they ruck to a channeling side to be able to get some transition on, and we see this boy again here for Nelson, Thompson, being able to lay a great platform, and this time around it's Mikey Morrison getting into the in goal. He was looking for the player, and unfortunately he's found him in front of him, and we saw a couple of instances like this yesterday, just a level of excitement that when you get into the in goal, the free player kind of looks better than the backwards pass.
Yeah, I don't blame Tana Thompson. I had that problem too of being too fast. I couldn't slow down, so it wasn't his fault that he was in front of the ball. Oh, maybe a little bit worse than we thought. Hopefully not for the young fella.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a groin injury there. It looks like they've got a penalty from this day for a holding. Chucks it long to the outside, bit of one-on-one brilliance here and gets it down. That's just pure speed, and once again, it's one of those things you can't coach in this grade. This morning I watched a couple of games. Speed is the burn at these Bunnings Youth Touch Nationals this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, we see Mikey Morrison, who got through into the in goal before, just goes a little bit of a goosey, a bit of a Willy Rider there, and he's able to cross just before the half there for Nelson, and that's great momentum going into half time as we hear the who to go, and Te Tai Tokerau will look for maybe one more kind of play here, but Nelson were able to push forward, and we go into the half here for the under 18 mixed grade. Nelson, 6 touchdowns to Tai Tokerau 2.
Well done, team. Keep it going. Keep it going. Good work. Yes, good side step. Excellent. Working forward. Well done. Well done, team. Good. For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes. But Mahi never stops. Thanks, mate. Okay, team, come on in. Let's go. Let's huddle up. Bring it in, guys. Nominate your homegrown hero today. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Sport. What does it mean to us? For some, it's potential, a promise that we could be better, that the early mornings will be worth it, that we could be champions.
It starts with touch.
Kia ora, it's whānau and welcome back to the Bunnings Youth National Touch Championship, coming to you live from the Punawai here in Christchurch, broadcasted on Whakaata Māori. And you're joining us here for the first stream game of the day. We have the under 18 mixed division, and at half time we saw Nelson increase their lead to 6 touchdowns to 2 over Tai Tokerau, and it's been a bit of a battle in terms of this half. Nelson kind of having a lot of momentum when they're coming through their yardage, and I think that's been the reflection of where the tries have been scored, Mauri.
Yeah, they just look really sharp across the park, really solid defence, which helps them in their transition. They're ready to roll. Everyone's on the same page, very direct, which gets them into the other half with a couple of touches up their sleeve, and then again, everyone on board. You know, there's not really that much comms between them. They just know what everyone's doing, and they've been very accurate down then, which is why they've got themselves a bit of a lead going into the second half.
And Reece, we were talking about it just in the halftime break there, how the two-man game of Tai Tokerau has been strong, but they probably just need to find something through their yards.
Yeah, they now on conversely, Nelson have definitely got a planned and well-trained yardage package. Tai Tokerau probably just need to put their head down for this next 15 minutes and try and get back in the game.
And we all know, for those watching at home, that when it comes to touch, six touchdowns to 2 is never safe. And look out for a strong performance here from this Tai Tokerau side as Nelson get to open the half here, as we see a backdoor play, something that's been quite familiar in this Nelson attack, and a great diving touch there from the link. So great coaching there from half time. They've obviously noticed that Nelson are throwing that sweep play at them and just tightened up their defence there this time around, and they were able to stop the diving player there. As we see them just being able to execute a nice draw and pass there. Not too sure what happens. We'll go to the replay to find out kind of what happened to be able to execute that pass there.
Yeah, I don't think this was a planned one. The old, I think you're sweeping. No, I'm not sweeping. Oh, well, I'll give it to you. We'll just draw and pass. Unfortunately for Tai Tokerau, the winger couldn't quite stop that pass and make the touch early enough. But again, Nelson, just with that skill level, catch and pass without much time. Beautiful catch from the winger and an easy dot down to go.
I've seen this play come in a wee bit where it's almost like an old school rugby ID. The link comes under, and it's like a dingo or a middle link kind of play. And I think he was on a different page, and it kind of looked so buzzy that it's worked out.
Yeah.
I remember you giving me that play. I was always on the crash ball, Reece.
That's facts. Here comes Tai Tokerau now, looking to sweep as well. They sweep to the corner. And don't quite get it through there. Good to see them at least taking the outside, though. That should open up an opportunity for the step back and get into some sort of play back on this open side.
They've been creating some really good opportunity through their footwork as well, and I think this is a skill that you definitely can't coach, and it's something that we see a lot through our youth, that they're able to express themselves by I guess having those happy feet moments and some of the space that they can create by the agility that some of these youth players are able to show is just something that's great to watch. And I'm sure the greats of the game, such as Drummy and Benji, that have shown these type of plays in the past, will be happy to see, as we see Nelson looking for another draw and pass opportunity. But the winger there being able to lift quite high, and she was able to stop that attack there for Tai Tokerau, and that's great defence there from an outside.
Yeah, definitely what you said about half-time. I definitely think the coaching staff have focused a lot on the defence, and as you can see there was just a nice touching profile by the middle of Tai Tokerau and into a shutdown defence, and we're able to shut down Nelson.
And it's really rewarding for a middle player when you're able to have your outside show that dominance and that confidence to be able to lift and give you every opportunity to compete. And we saw that there from the Tai Tokerau winger. She was able to lift nice and high, be very confident, and get into that channel so that the player was able to not be able to pass over the top. As Nelson get back to their strength where they're coming towards their box. Great touch there from the winger, being able to show a little bit of assertiveness and try and stop the momentum as Nelson looked to get their transitional players through, as we go to a quite common latch play there where he came back towards his box to try and isolate the middle, and another sweep on the back door, looking to use his feet, bit of a left to right. Ward tried to jump up in the lane there, but Nelson will get 6 again as a result.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty dangerous. They're hard to hold out when they've only got 1 down on the line. So having a fresh set of 6, I'm sure they'll probably set up for at least 2 cracks, maybe even 3.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're going to sweep nice and early here. They're coming in for a middle link play. Just trying to see what the defence is doing. Their fundamentals, forward pass. I was just about to say that Nelson's fundamentals are very, very strong, but that one did come out of the hands forward. And it's good to see, even though there wasn't any defensive pressure, referees are still going to call it. It's a great call.
Yeah, rewarding as well when you get those 6 agains rather than having to transition for the referees. You know, they get a little bit of a break on the scoreline, and unfortunately for Nelson there, they kind of lost a bit of a lapse in concentration and have given Tai Tokerau an opportunity here to answer back as they look to cross the half, coming into touch 4. And they've shown some great trust in their female players here. I noticed on the scoreline before, a little bit unconventional as we see Ward look to scoop through, and lovely right to left. And Jonty there able to cover into the corner. But I just wanted to give some props here to some of the female athletes for Tai Tokerau. We see the confidence that the coaching staff have in them, and when we were on the scoreline before, a little bit unconventional to the mixed game where it's normally a 3-3 split, but we were able to see a little bit of a different look when it came to the Tai Tokerau defensive line, with one of the girls defending in the middle.
The last 5 minutes has definitely been the best of Tai Tokerau. They've had a real change since they come out at halftime, as we see number 1 from... I fully thought he was going so casual that he was dummy half, looking for someone to pass it to, and he waltzes in. Oh, I'm going to just shut up. That's a third commentator's curse for a day and a half.
Yeah, he comes in here on the 32 peel, gets live straight away, looks to chuck long, sees the open hole, and the female defender there probably just looked for a little bit more help out of the middle defender there for a bit of a shot. But once again, we're now 20 minutes into this game, and fatigue's going to start taking effect, and the first thing that'll go will be the communication between players.
Yeah, it's so important, the lift from the outside defenders now in the game, with the 7 metre being a little bit more effective than what the 5 metre was in terms of our lateral and vertical movements that we have to make when we're down on the scoreline. And unfortunately they're just kind of released too early, but that could have been due to the fact of the way that Connor was able to throw those little dummy pumps of the pass, and obviously the gap opened up and he was able to cross for Nelson's 8th.
And we don't let those umbrellas out there on the TV fool you. It's a beautiful day down here in Canterbury, as it is every day. And there's another very, very clinical constructed play by Nelson, where they're just playing a little bit of eyes up footy here, manipulating the defence, getting an overlap, and then the ball ends up in the winger. Very, very safe hands here.
And Mai, you talked about how they were able to use every one of their players. We see there Zion Ford getting involved and just unselfish, used the draw and pass opportunity, and the female winger there for For Nelson, apologies, I didn't get a number, but she was able to cross over for the 9th. Maybe looking at the bottom right-hand corner, that was Jordan Richards.
Yeah, I just think this Nelson team's skill set is at a really high level. So no matter what's in front of them, they have the ability, if they've got no time or no space, to be able to make that pass, make an accurate pass with the right pace. So I think when you've got those fundamental skills, and this is the first team I've seen out of yesterday and today, that fundamentally they're really, really sound, and that just allows them to go to another level when they add their IQ and their speed and that to the game. So yeah, this Nelson team, well coached by Jackson and Tai Tokerau, and I'm sure that these players have had many of the awesome coaches down in Nelson's fingerprints across them as well.
Yeah, even seeing some of the names here in the managerial columns, you know, sometimes a team's success is only as good as the hard work that these managers put in behind the scenes. And Nach, you were one of mine when I very first came into the Open Men's, and it's definitely an unsung hero of our sport, mate.
Oh, 100%, and I see that Nelson are rolling with two. Man, it would have been like Christmas having two managers, but I probably can't talk too much because it's pretty good. When we go away with Waitere, we've got about 25 management now. So, management is critical. It's unsung. You're doing the laundry till all hours of the night. You're making sandwiches. You're organising pickups. The injuries, the coaches are worried about the game. You're looking after injured players, and not just that, also the whare tapawha, the wairua, the henenaro, the tinana, and also families can be a big factor in youth athletes at this stage. So yeah, it's a very, very important role, and I would hate to go back to managing, I can tell you that.
I tell you what, Kev, I was a young impressionable ref a while ago, and I thought I knew what managers were like, and then I had this Canterbury team turn up, and there was this manager called Reese there, and I was like, holy moly, I had never seen a manager like that, and oh my gosh, what an eye-opener that was, and it's been amazing, Reese, to see all the success that you've had as a manager, but then into coaching and stuff, and just what you do with a lot of the stuff down here in Canterbury. Yeah, just super impressed, and big ups to you.
Yeah, no, thanks, Mike. We always got awesome feedback from yourself, especially when you were at the very, very top of the game and ranked number 1 in the world. It was always a pleasure to get you, and I always used to like our little catch-ups before finals in terms of how we play and the way we play, and I know that the top-end referees love an open game and how we used to run and things like that. And it's good to see also with our under-16s and under-18s are starting to go back to that down here in Canterbury now. I think you might see a little bit of a resurgence in Canterbury touch in the next couple of years, that's for sure. But yeah, Nelson again, getting into the in goal. A little bit of carnage there. You could probably throw a blanket around 20 people there, but they got the ball down, and Nelson have kicked away to a very, very strong 10-2 lead.
Yeah, Nelson have kicked out, and but it's definitely not as a result of Tai Tokerau giving up. I've actually thought that the second half has been their better half. I mean, we've still got 5 minutes to go, but I was impressed with that first 5 minutes. They're defending them, they're stopping them from being able to have a crack on the line, they're stopping them short, and their attack seemed to have a lot more purpose too, so a bit of flashiness there, but unfortunately not to hand. So yeah, impressed with Tai Tokerau's second half and what it is they've brought to it. But yeah, Nelson really dominant.
Yeah, and I guess what was seen from this Tai Tokerau side is Callum and Avon, that when they've come onto the field, they've developed a bit of a combo, and they've actually become quite dangerous. So it's pleasing to hopefully see that throughout the rest of the day or even the tournament, if they can kind of hit their straps, then they could be a real threat, especially when they're coming into that offensive 7 line. And they're definitely showing their wares back on the defensive end too. But just a lovely assisting line there from Kobe Johnson-Stevens as he chops a great hole between the middle and the link. But the sideline referee, she has seen a forward pass, and Tai Tokerau get out of trouble there.
I thought I'd seen it all, referees calls Reese, but yesterday I seen an attacking player get penalised for being in the ruck.
Yep, that's one of those ones that scratch your head, and I know we've got some very, very good Uffy supporters and coordinators here, but it would be very hard to... you'd probably need the strapping tape over the mouth if you're in the management box of that team, that's for sure. Tai Tokerau on the ball here, and looks like a little bit of energy coming in, a little bit of a step back, looking for an open player. Winger should be free here.
Cullen with nice ball.
This winger on this near side hasn't subbed all game and has been doing a great job out here, not only just finishing tries, but has been the defensive player to stop most of Tai Tokerau's plays off the right.
Yeah, showing some real assertiveness and confidence in terms of, I guess, a lot of her trust for her inside defenders that they've been able to recover, and that's making her job a lot easier to stay a little bit looser. And then obviously the effect of the boy passing over the top being a little bit stronger than a female pass, that she's able to stay a little bit looser and make those good defensive reads. As we see a nice left foot step getting into the in goal there is Robinson, and able to find that man Jonty Pickworth with a bit of a bandana setup.
Yeah, this is off the back of the work of, as you said, Reece, the winger number 16, Jordan Richards, just back down there on the defensive end. I've been really impressed with her technique and her positioning. She's always in the right position, which allows her to shut if she needs to, or chase back out, and she shoulders out, and all those little things that she gets right is the reason why she's so accurate on defence, and is a really big part of this Nelson team and why they're up 11-2 with 2 minutes to go. Yeah,
they're just expressing themselves now. They've gone away from the sweep, which was working to get them a bit of a lead, and looked like he just wanted to get on the pick and use his footwork there. That was a nicey wee play when you got a solid lead.
Yeah, and it's also pleasing when you see a ball player like Pickworth there run some assisting lines, not just wanting to be on the ball. And we've talked about it from about halfway through this game, where we acknowledged the Nelson work rate, and we see there again Pickworth trying to help out his female winger and get all the way across. He's having a hell of a game, and maybe it's that Rambo setup, with that bandana around the head. He's got a bit of a killer instinct to him, and that competitive nature is showing as Tai Tokerau looked to expose the wares there, but Nelson were able to show those second efforts, and that's something that they'll be looking for more forward of this tournament, to get into the deeper stages and find some more success.
Did you just see Richards then? She chased out that bomb of a pass from Tobias Marsh, defended her winger, the winger passed it back in, she stepped back in and then dove and got the link. Nelson, take a rest on D. I think Jordan Richards has got you.
I didn't watch the first day, but I would be shocked if this Nelson team isn't in the deep end of the tournament tomorrow, pending results. But they look very clinical on both sides of the ball, especially through transition, the way they get the ball down the field.
I think it's something that we probably haven't acknowledged, is the completion rate. They don't seem to kind of make those fundamental errors, which is highly crucial, and I can't take anything away from Tai Tokerau either. Even they've been able to get down there. It's just been the defensive kind of completion that Nelson have shown, being able to be a little bit more clinical than the Tai Tokerau team in this game. But Tai Tokerau will look to get one back before the end of this game, as we see Ward with another right to left, and there's that girl again, Jordan Richards, showing her wares out wide.
Someone needs to go tell Tai Tokerau, try the other wing, because that door is closed. Jordan ain't letting no one in there.
And the way that this easterly breeze is coming off the New Brighton beach there, throwing off that right hand from right to left into the stadium here, it's a tough ask.
And I think that was the hooter in the background there that we hear, folks, and that's our first game for the day in the under-18 mixed division. Nelson just clawing away from it in that second half with a final scoreline of 11 touchdowns to 2.
This Touch New Zealand event is proudly supported by Bunnings Warehouse.